an astute and result-oriented educationist. She holds a bachelor's degree in finance from the University of Tirana and a master's degree in business administration in information system from the University of New York, Tirana. She has contributed to a number of publications over the years and has been actively conducting conferences, workshops, and trainings in Albania on varied topics of academic interest. Ms. Ardita is currently employed as assistant lecturer at the Mediterranean University of Albania, public finance, taxation, financial management, banking techniques, advanced economics, travel and tourism, accounting, macroeconomics, business management, and career counseling are some of his areas of expertise and interest. Over to you, Ms. Ardita.
Okay, do you listen? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So hello, everyone, and thank you all for your participation in this webinar. I am really honored for being the panelist of this webinar, and I thank Athena Global Education for this great opportunity. Also, I want to thank Ms. Chandrika, who is going to be the learning facilitator for this webinar. I hope that you can enjoy it, and for every question that you might have during the presentation, please write it down and we can discuss them at the end of the material. I'm going to share just a minute. So someone can confirm me about the material. Did you see it?
Yes, we do see it.
Okay. So as Chandrika said, today we're going to discuss about the most important topic of nowadays in every country, about the fiscal policy interventions in economic crisis. The reason why I chose this topic is because of my expertise field, because I have almost 8 years teaching this module in university, but at the same time for the importance that this policy has in the economic sustainability of each country. Recent years, the world has faced many global economic and financial crises, and we will discuss more about some of the policies that have been undertaken from the government, especially regarding to the fiscal policy. And the last but not the least from its importance is the unpredictable future that we have and the upcoming economic crisis or financial crisis that might occur in the future. Can we be prepared for them regarding to the lessons that we learned from the previous economic crisis, or each crisis has their special components to be considered? So I don't know, but I just raised this question that we have to discuss in the future slides. So in this material is, or I thought to divide it in 4 sections. In the first one, I'm going to explain some theories about the fiscal policy, its definition, its types, and main applications regarding to the economic situation in different countries. In the second question, I will discuss about the biggest debate among many economists that has been for years, but it is also nowadays regarding to the efficiency of the fiscal policy. And in the third section, I will analyze the most important global economic and financial crises that all the countries around the world have faced during the years. Mentioning here the Great Depression that happened in 1929 to 1933, the global financial crisis, 2008 to 2009, and the last one, but not the least from its importance, it was the COVID-19 pandemic, 2019 to 2021. I will be concentrated mainly in their nature, origin, economic components or parameters, the fiscal policy undertaken from the government, and some lessons learned from each crisis, but regarding to the worldwide concept. And the least section, the fourth one, I'm going to discuss the most important question, as I mentioned before, for the entire world in the economy aspect. What will bring the future? Are we prepared for the incoming crisis, and what should we take into consideration to manage them in order to avoid another great economic recession? So let's begin. I don't know about the background of all the participants in this webinar, and for this reason, I thought that in the first session, I have to introduce some basic concepts about the fiscal policy. I have to mention that fiscal policy is one of the macroeconomic policies that, together with the monetary policy, have a great impact on the economic growth and sustainability of the country. Monetary policy is a set of tools that is used from the central bank, usually of each country, to control the overall money supply and promote economic growth, and employ strategies such as revising interest rates and changing bank reserve requirements. On the other hand, fiscal policy is the use of government expenses and tax policies to influence economic sustainability, and especially macroeconomic components such as aggregate demand for goods and services, employment, inflation, and economic growth. As we can see from the slide, fiscal policy has two basic instruments, which are the government expenses and the taxes. According to the type of the fiscal policy that will be implemented from the government, it will change also the application of these instruments because it will depend from the economic situation that the country is. But before getting to the types of fiscal policy, I have to mention that these two instruments have a direct line or a direct effect or impact with the basic equation of the aggregate demand, which is as we can see from the equation, is the total demand for goods and services within a particular market. And as we can show from the slide, is the summary or the total sum from the consumption, investment, government expenses, and the net export. We all know that the consumption is the total amount of households planned spending on goods and services produced in the economy. Also, the consumption is related to savings, which are the disposable income that is not spent. And sometimes this total of spending that consumers have or the individuals have can go to investments. So it can raise also the investment to different assets that they want. Another component that we have to aggregate demand is the investment, which is spending on capital goods such as factories, such as buildings, maybe vehicles, or in different assets that may choose individuals or even the business sector. We have the government expenses or spending. It is the spending of the government to the public in order to provide merit as well as public goods. And the last one is the net export, which is the difference between the export and the import of one country. So it is like the